If your business sees newly formed UK companies as a good route to market for your products and services, then this video could be for you. I'm Tony Bing, Business Development Manager at mabunti.co.uk, and this is a short video clip showing how you can do this quickly and easily. Companies House don't collect phone number or email as part of the registration process, but if they did, you would hit GDPR compliance issues, as they're likely to be personal details this early on in the company's life. So, sending a postal mailing to the registered office address is therefore the best way to touch base with these new businesses. Let's take an example of a commercial oven supplier wanting to get in touch with newly formed restaurants. They initially want to get in touch with companies that have formed over the last 3 weeks, but then want to automate the process with a weekly email of companies. They also only want to target the areas where they have a warehouse, which is Northampton, Birmingham, Manchester, Cardiff, and within 25 miles of their base in London. So let's start the process. Companies can be filtered geographically, either based on postcode areas such as B for Birmingham or NN for Northampton. You can provide a UK postcode and a set distance for inclusion, or you can choose an entire region of the UK. You can add multiple postcode areas and distance filters, and if any one of the 3 geographic groups finds a company, then it could potentially be included in your file. So let's add the warehouse locations in quickly. You'll see as I type in post areas, it shows the region of the country being added. You'll also see when I type in a postcode, it tells you the area of the country the postcode is. The next filter we're interested in is categories. We can see an easy-to-read list of categories on the Companies House website. Some of the categories are really broad and others are quite specialised. Going back to the system, the figure in brackets at the end is how many companies are in that classification. So if we type in Resta, we can see over 36,000 companies are flagged as being a licensed restaurant and a few less than that for unlicensed. Now we determine timeline and decide how far back we want to go. We have an easy to use slider to go back up to 90 days, but if we want to go back further or we want to look at companies from 6 months ago, we can use the date range facility. Let's set it initially to the last 6 weeks or 42 days. Finally, before getting a count, we want to filter out most of the mail forwarding services. Some companies will use a mail forwarding service rather than have their home address on public record, and so we look at elements of the address to see if the same address has been used with multiple companies. If the address usage is quite low, it's not likely to be an accountant or a mail forwarding company. Now we can get a count. Whilst it's counting, we can set the name of our filter so when we get the export email, we know what it's about. If the result is more companies than we wanted, then we can close and change the date range to say 21 days, and then reapply. You can do this with any of the filters. When you have a count that meets your needs, the purchase screen allows you to register, and when registered, you get the option to buy credits. I'm going to log in now with our demo account that already has credits on them for demonstration, and I've got this filter set up there too. OK, I'm now in our demo account and you can see I can purchase more credits. However, I've got enough on this account anyway, so I'll go straight to export. We can now choose whether we want to receive these records we have selected, or whether we want to ignore those and just use the filter itself as the basis for a daily or a weekly export. Or we can do both. You can receive the selected companies now and then use the same filter to run weekly or daily. If you decide to do an automated feed, you can always flip back to the Purchase tab to add more credits onto your account at any point in time. In our example, we wanted to run a weekly export as well as getting this immediate data, so let's choose that option. The default file format is a comma-separated file which loads into Excel, Google Sheets, etc. The other option is a format used by software developers if you want to incorporate the details into another system, but we'll stick with CSV. Then we have the GDPR option. We can select a director from the company for you to write to a named individual. The ICO website explains that under the legitimate interest rules of GDPR, if the person would reasonably expect the processing of their name for this purpose and it's not causing unjustified harm to them, then you can potentially rely on the legitimate interest rules for marketing purposes to use someone's name without their consent. After you've decided whether you want to include an officer's name in your export, you can confirm the email address that you want the file delivered to and choose to export records now. If we now scroll back up, you'll see the indicator to say that the job is now active on that filter, and if we click into it for more details, you'll see there is a one-off job and a weekly job. The one-off job will run over the next couple of minutes, followed by the weekly job, and then the weekly job will run the same day next week as long as you have credits on your account. You've now got your newly formed company data filtered as you want it, all within a few minutes. Hopefully this has given you a good idea how to use the system, but if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to get in touch or give us a call. Thanks very much.